Dr. Octavio Pescador, a political analyst and a contributor or coordinator, actually, of the UCLA Latin American Institute, is here in studio with us tonight. First of all, thank you. I know it's sometimes on a Monday evening this late, it's hard to get over from UCLA. But talk to me a little bit about the new president. He's the president-elect there. When will he be sworn in?
He'll be sworn in December 1st. He's not yet president-elect. The tribunal, the maximum legal authority in terms of elections in Mexico, has to ratify the election, but he is the winner.
What do you see in terms of a difference between where we are now with Mexico and where we will be 6 months from now?
Security and stability. Economically, there's a supposition that he will bring additional jobs, or that his promise. But the most important, the latent thing is really we want security. Mexicans are saying when we walk out of our houses.
Well, how is he able to deliver on that when others have not?
Frankly, it's an investment that Calderon and the United States made together combating organized crime. General McCaffrey said that it would take about 10 years for the situation to stabilize. He will have his term, and his term, that maturity point.
He's talking about a new economy. He's talking about more jobs. Where do you see the economy going? What sorts of jobs is he talking about here?
Service sector jobs. There's a lot of businesses and industries that are returning from Asia to Mexico because they want to be closer to the consumer in the United States. So that's a process that timing will benefit his administration, really.
You know, he did come out and say that, I want to quote this, that he would make no pact or no agreement with the drug cartels. Is this an unusual thing to say?
Well, he better say that, because the perception in Mexico was that the PRI was good at maintaining stability because there was agreements with the drug lords. So if he comes out and say that, he's ratifying his commitment.
So he's distanced himself right away from the PRI, or is this a whole different party than it was perhaps 10 years ago?
There are institutions at the state level, but also civil society, that will not allow his government to be the traditional PRI. There will be figures from past administrations, but the performance and the governance proper is not the same right now. It's a New Mexico.
What do we know about him personally?
Well, he's charismatic in terms of his persona. He's married to a very charismatic and popular soap opera star, and he has strong ties with a very powerful interest group in Mexican politics in the PRI based in the state of Mexico.
How do you see the relations between the U.S. and Mexico going during his term?
I think very favorably, because the United States wants more stability. They want controlled border and security. He has already brought into his team, at least provisionally, a Colombian security agent who is really well respected in Washington, D.C. So he's sending all the right signals. I think he wants an approach with the United States.
Do you see stepped up war on the cartels down there, the drug cartels?
I think they're going to change the strategy, because right now they're fighting everybody at the same time, and that's not working. We've seen it. So I think what will happen is that they're going to start focusing more on trafficking proper, and perhaps one of two of the big fishes, as they're called, but they're going to try to focalize the effort.
Let's talk about immigration. That's a big issue on this side of the border. I suspect it is there as well.
Well, it's at net zero right now. You know, there's really no immigration from Mexico. There are more immigrants from Asia. There was a study released from the census data that there are more Asians coming into the United States than there are Latinos, and for that matter, Mexicans, and then Mexicans in particular.
And why? Because that is dramatically different than it was, let's say, 5 years ago.
Yes, there's a couple of reasons. One is because there are some jobs in Mexico being created. Two, because there are no jobs in terms of the employment of immigrants here. Since the economic recession in the United States led for many people with degrees and employed in other occupations to go down to the service sector, that pushed out many folks from the market.
You know, a lot of people look at what happens in other countries, people with their heads buried in the sand in the States, and they say, why should I care? Why should I care what's going on in Europe? Why should I care what's going on in Canada? Why should I care what's going on in the political arena in Mexico?
There are 1 million Americans living in the United States. There are more and more folks going and getting medical care there. There is a great cultural integration taking place, a hybridization of cultures in America. Mexico is more like the United States now than it's ever been. And there's close proximity in terms of economic philosophy, political philosophy now. We're all in the same boat.
What do you see his first order of business being?
I think, coming to the United States, because he had no platform for the Mexican population abroad, because the laws prevented him from doing that, and he wants to reaffirm with Washington and the people here that he's not going to turn his back on the effort that has been carried out so far.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely.
Certainly appreciate it.